What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about a movie from one of my favorite directors of all time, and that is director Mike Mills. And I've talked multiple times on my channel about the films 20th Century Women and Come On, Come On. They're two of my favorite films of all time. I think they are both incredibly brilliant. I think Mike Mills has a way of just exploring the human condition in such an authentic way that just showcases these people's lives where you sort of forget you're watching a movie. And I think that a lot of that stems from the fact that he started his work in documentary. And this is a movie that has been recommended to me a lot. I don't know why I've never watched this before, but with it being Pride Month, I thought that it would be a really good movie to incorporate. I did a list video recently. I've watched a couple of movies that are centered around queer characters, and so I thought this would be a perfect opportunity for me to kind of fill this hole in watching Mike Mills' entire filmography. And I'm really excited to tell you about the movie Beginners today. Beginners is directed by Mike Mills. Oliver meets the irreverent and unpredictable Anna only months after his father, Hal Fields, has passed away. This new love floods Oliver with memories of his father, who, following the death of his wife of 44 years, came out of the closet at age 75 to live a full, energized, and wonderfully tumultuous gay life, which included a younger boyfriend. So I was super excited to watch this movie. I had a feeling that I was really going to like it because I'm a huge fan of Mike Mills, and I just think he's such an incredibly talented filmmaker. And big surprise, I love this movie. This is easily a new favorite for me. I don't think Mike Mills is capable of making a bad movie. This is remarkable in every sense of the word, not just in the incredible performances that are in this movie and in the immaculate cinematography, which is in line with every movie that Mike Mills has made in his career. But the message of this movie is just so incredibly important in regards to not just the queer community, but like love in general and love that you have for a person and the difficulties in life and the things that you have to deal with in order for you to experience love in a legitimate and authentic way. And I'm really excited to tell you about this movie today. So the movie is told in a non-linear structure, and you don't really learn that until really early on. But we're kind of jumping through different periods of time. And the film centers around Oliver, played by Ewan McGregor, who, as the plot description states, has recently lost his father, Hal, played by Christopher Plummer, who, as the plot description states, Hal and his mother were in a relationship for over 40 years, and Hal was a closet homosexual. And after his mother passed away to an illness, Hal decided that he was going to embrace his homosexuality and live out his life the way that he wished that he could have when he was married to Oliver's mother. And so a lot of the story is us seeing Hal when he first gets ill and kind of being on the dating scene, getting a younger boyfriend that's Hal's in his 70s. This boyfriend's probably in his late 30s, early 40s. So there's like a pretty big age gap between the two of them, and just him experiencing life in that way and kind of Oliver taking all that in at once. While at the same time, we're getting the story after Hal has passed away, where Oliver has taken his father's very cute Jack Russell Terrier in, and the two of them live together kind of in isolation. His friends at work pressure him really hard about how he doesn't date, he doesn't really get out there. And one night he meets Anna at a party, played by Melanie Laurent. And they're at a costume party, and she has laryngitis and she can't talk to him. And so he spends the whole night talking to her, and she responds by writing on a little pad of paper. And the two of them hit it off really quickly, and they start forming a relationship. And the entirety of the film is watching the relationship between these two characters, while we also learn more about Oliver and his father, and Oliver and his mother, and their relationship over time, and how that just impacts him and the decisions that he makes in his own life. So like I said, this movie is remarkable, and there are a number of reasons why, and I want to start with the performances. Rest in peace, Christopher Plummer. Truly phenomenal actor. This performance is phenomenal. I really was just kind of shaken up by how amazing the performance was, how authentic it felt, every single emotion that he was conveying in regards to, you know, being a closeted gay man, being married to a woman for so long, genuinely loving that woman, like caring for her, but not being sexually attracted to her. And, you know, living his life where he made the conscientious decision to stay with this woman because of his family dynamic and because he loved her, but he wasn't really living his authentic self, and the conflict there, and seeing him in his later years in his life where he could just lock himself up and sort of give up. But he doesn't. He pushes forward, and he lives truly and wholly and authentically, and there's just something so beautiful about that in his performance, and I really was floored by how amazing it was. I've always loved Ewan McGregor. I think that he's a really understated actor no matter what he's doing. I really enjoyed his performance in Doctor Sleep a few years ago. I think that he's done a ton of really great work in his career, and this movie is no exception. He is phenomenal in this film. I feel like his performance is relatively nuanced and quieter, but his reaction to situations and the way that his relationship with Christopher Plummer's character feels so incredibly natural. And I also feel like his performance alongside Melanie Laurent's performance is just really fantastic. She is also great in this movie, and the chemistry of these characters feels so incredibly natural, which I think also adds on to the what I spoke on when it comes to 20th century women and Come On, where Mike Mills knows how to write human characters in a way that doesn't feel hokey and Hollywood fake. They feel like actual people. And that's what makes his work so successful to me, at least. And also the dog in this movie, the Jack Russell Terrier, like the cutest dog imaginable. They do a lot of really cute things with the dog. And I just thought that that was another great little add on to the movie. As someone who has four dogs, they're the loves of my life. It was really incredible to see that in a movie. I really appreciated it a lot. As far as the cinematography and the visual presentation is concerned, as per Mike Mills' usual, it's gorgeous. There's so much attention to detail in setting and environment, capturing characters reacting to situations, knowing when to go in for a close up, knowing when to hold on a specific frame, and capturing an environment and a space. I just feel like Mike really works well with his cinematographer to make just entrancing films that are really easy to immerse yourself into. And this was really cool because it's earlier in his career, and it kind of showed where he developed. Because one of the things I really like about the later Mike Mills films, especially like Come On, he does it a couple of times in 20th Century Women as well. He'll like reference literary works, and he'll put title cards in the middle of the movie because he's very much an unconventional filmmaker. As you'll see in this movie, when Ewan McGregor's recollecting on parts of his life, they'll use like still images or like single frames of like color or images that associate with a character, and he kind of breaks the norm of conventional filmmaking. And it was cool to see some of those moments in this that would translate into his later work. And he's like, hey, I'm going for it here, but I could do it even more so. And I loved the use of literary works in this, especially in one particular instance, they use the Velveteen Rabbit. And I just thought that the quote in particular and how it relates to the subject matter of the film worked very, very well. And as per Mike Mills' usual, the musical choices in this movie are great. They accompany the movie in a way that it doesn't feel like the music is manipulating you. It's more just like an accompaniment to the already really gritty, raw emotion that's conveyed in the film. And like I said at the beginning of the video, it's Pride Month right now. I feel like, it's a pretty tumultuous time in this country. We literally watched the leader of the United States of America throw himself an embarrassing North Korea style parade when it's Pride Month and people around the country are celebrating the queer community, and then coming out in droves to protest against the absolute lunatic that's running the country. And it's confusing times for the queer community because they've already been through so very, very much in the entirety of the time that the country has existed. But to watch a movie about a man in his 70s who had that part of himself locked away for so very, very long, embracing it, there was something so beautiful about it, like seeing him experience that, and his son kind of just being overwhelmed. Because in that situation, when you're the child, you're like, okay, you kind of flash back and saw like he could see the love between his parents, but he could also see the separation, and he might not necessarily know why, but there was a distinct separation there. And so you lose your mother, you see your father carrying on, and it's got to be conflicting, but he also loves his dad more than anything in the world and just wants him to be happy. And I thought seeing a queer character live their true, authentic self, and like the relationship and the friend groups that show up there, it was just truly beautiful. And I loved it. And I love the way that kind of bled into his own life and his relationship with Anna, because her character, she's an actress, she's traveling all over the place. She has a very broken relationship with her father, who calls her and says that he wants to take his own life all the time, and she's struggling with a lot of really intense emotions about that. She clearly has commitment issues because she doesn't stay in one place for very long. And it really reminded me, and I'm gonna get like sappy sentimental for a minute, but it really reminded me of when I met my partner for the first time. We've been together for around 15 years now, and when I met her the first time in my life, we would have these really long conversations that to some might feel very aimless, but they were conversations about the world and about each other, and kind of just like getting in each other's brains and learning each other to the fundamental core of who we were as people. And this movie really reminded me of that, of those moments of like getting to know someone to their complete and total core, and having them open up to you and be vulnerable and kind of put their trust in you, and to build off that and to build each other up and to kind of get you to where you can live through some of the things that feel like they're impossible to live through on your own. And I saw a review on Letterboxd, and I thought that it was really beautiful the way someone worded it, but they said that like this felt like a conversation that you'd have with someone you love at 3 o'clock in the morning, where you're just talking and talking and talking. And I think that's a really accurate representation. I mean, there's so many beautiful moments of dialogue in this movie, and there's so many periods in it that just really moved me to tears. I cried more times than I can begin to tell you while I watched this movie. I just think it's a completely authentic and legitimate piece of filmmaking that I can see myself watching several times in the near future. I think if you've never seen Mike Mills, you really can't go wrong with any movies in his filmography, but this would be a really great way to start. So have you seen Beginners? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was absolutely incredible. I loved it, and I already can't wait to watch it again. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.